Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel, Time Capsule. Today we pause to remember several remarkable individuals whose lives touch people around the world. Through music, leadership, storytelling, and creativity, they created moments that continue to inspire. Every life carries a story, and each of these individuals left behind memories that will not be forgotten. In this video, we reflect on their journeys, their contributions, and the lasting impact they made during their time with us. Country Joe McDonald was a legendary folk musician whose voice became one of the defining sounds of the protest music movement during the 1960s. Born Joseph Allen McDonald in Washington, D.C., and raised in California, he grew up during a time when music was becoming a powerful tool for social expression. From a young age, he developed a deep interest in storytelling through song. His passion for music eventually led him to become one of the most recognizable figures in the counterculture movement of the late 1960s. McDonald rose to prominence as the lead singer of the band Country Joe and the Fish, a group that blended psychedelic rock with folk influences and political commentary. Their music captured the spirit of a generation that was questioning authority and calling for change during a time of social and political tension in the United States. One of the band's most famous songs, "I Feel Like I'm Fixin' to Die Rag," became an unforgettable protest anthem during the Vietnam War era. The song combined satire, humor, and powerful criticism of war, resonating deeply with audiences who were witnessing the growing conflict overseas. Perhaps the most iconic moment of McDonald's career came in 1969 at the Woodstock Festival. Standing before hundreds of thousands of people gathered for the historic event, he delivered a performance that would become one of the most memorable scenes of the entire festival. Before performing the song, he led the massive crowd in a chant that would later become famous as the Fish Cheer. The moment symbolized the rebellious spirit and cultural voice of the era. Throughout the years that followed, McDonald continued writing songs, recording albums, and performing live concerts. His music blended elements of folk, rock, and storytelling, often reflecting on themes such as peace, social awareness, and the human experience. Even as the cultural landscape changed over time, McDonald remained dedicated to performing and sharing his music with audiences who appreciated the authenticity and honesty in his work. Beyond his music career, those who knew him often described him as thoughtful, reflective, and deeply committed to the ideas he believed in. He viewed music not simply as entertainment, but as a way to encourage people to think about the world around them. Fans admired him for staying true to his beliefs and continuing to share his message through music long after the cultural movements of the 1960s had passed. Country Joe McDonald's influence extends far beyond the era in which he first became famous. His songs remain important historical reflections of a time when music played a central role in shaping public conversations about war, justice, and peace. Today, his music continues to be remembered by listeners who appreciate the courage and creativity he brought to his art. Country Joe McDonald's legacy lives on through the songs he created and the cultural voice he helped give to an entire generation. Tributes to Country Joe McDonald. DeCarlo's journey into the world of rock music is one of the most remarkable stories in modern music history, a story that began not as a professional musician but as a devoted fan. For many years, DeCarlo lived a quiet life while maintaining a deep passion for music. Like millions of listeners around the world, he admired the powerful sound of the legendary rock band Boston, whose music became widely known for its soaring vocals and melodic guitar arrangements. Boston's songs such as More Than a Feeling, Peace of Mind, and Amanda had already become rock classics long before DeCarlo ever imagined that he might one day sing them himself. The turning point in his life came after the tragic passing of Boston's original lead singer Brad Delp in 2007. Like many fans, DeCarlo felt deeply affected by the loss of a voice that had shaped the band's identity for decades. As a tribute to Delp and the band's music, DeCarlo recorded several cover versions of Boston songs and shared them online. His performances were not intended to launch a career. They were simply a fan's heartfelt tribute to music that meant a great deal to him. But those recordings soon reached the ears of Tom Scholz, Boston's founder and guitarist. Scholz was impressed by DeCarlo's vocal ability and by how closely his voice captured the distinctive sound that Boston fans recognized. Soon afterward, he invited DeCarlo to audition for the band. What happened next was something few musicians ever experience. A devoted fan who had once sung Boston songs in his own home suddenly found himself performing them on stage with the band itself. Tommy DeCarlo officially joined Boston as lead vocalist in 2008, beginning a new chapter in both his life and the band's history. Concert audiences quickly embraced him. Fans appreciated the passion he brought to the performances and the respect he showed for the band's musical legacy. During tour across North America and beyond, DeCarlo performed Boston's classic songs to packed venues, helping introduce the band's music to a new generation of listeners while honoring the sound that longtime fans loved. Despite the sudden change in his life, DeCarlo remained humble and grateful for the opportunity he had been given. Those who worked with him often described him as friendly, grounded, and appreciative of the fans who supported the band. His story became an inspiring reminder that sometimes the most unexpected paths can lead to extraordinary moments. For many people, Tommy DeCarlo represented the idea that passion and dedication can open doors that once seemed impossible. Through his performances, he helped ensure that Boston's iconic music would continue to live on. His journey from fan to frontman remains one of the most inspiring chapters in modern rock history. Tributes to Tommy DeCarlo. Katherine Short was an actress whose work in television and film allowed her to become part of stories that audiences continued to enjoy for many years. While she may not always have been in the spotlight as a leading star, her presence on screen added depth and authenticity to the productions she was part of. Born with a natural interest in performance, Katherine Short gradually found her place in the world of acting. Like many performers, her journey involved dedication, patience, and a willingness to grow within the craft. Over time, she built a career that included appearances in several television productions and films. One of the roles that connected her with many viewers was her appearance in the beloved television series Little House on the Prairie, a show that became widely known for its heartfelt storytelling and its portrayal of life in 19th century America. The series touched millions of viewers and remains one of the most remembered family dramas in television history. Being part of a program like Little House on the Prairie meant contributing to stories that focused on family values, resilience, and community. Katherine Short's work helped bring those stories to life, allowing audiences to connect with the characters and the world portrayed on screen. Beyond that series, she also appeared in other television productions that allowed her to continue exploring different roles. Her performances often reflected sincerity and attention to detail, qualities that many actors strive to develop over the course of their careers. Acting is often a collaborative effort, and colleagues who worked alongside Katherine Short remembered her as someone who approached her craft with professionalism and respect. She understood the importance of teamwork on a film or television set, where actors, directors, writers, and crew members work together to create the final production that audiences see. Friends and coworkers often described her as thoughtful and approachable. She brought a calm presence to the environments she worked in, making it easier for those around her to collaborate and focus on the creative process. While some performers become widely known for major roles, others build careers through consistent dedication and meaningful contributions to many different projects. Katherine Short's work reflected that kind of steady commitment to storytelling. Her performances remain part of the television history that many viewers continue to appreciate. Shows like Little House on the Prairie are still watched by audiences today, allowing new generations to discover the stories and the actors who helped bring them to life. Katherine Short's career reminds us that every role within a story contributes to the overall experience that audiences enjoy. Through her work, she became part of a tradition of television storytelling that continues to resonate with viewers around the world. Her legacy lives on through the characters she helped portray and the memories those stories created for audiences. Tributes to Katherine Short. Jesse Jackson is one of the most widely recognized civil rights leaders in modern American history, known for decades of activism, leadership, and dedication to social justice. Born in Greenville, South Carolina, Jackson grew up during a period of significant racial segregation in the United States. These early experiences shaped his understanding of inequality and helped inspire the path he would later take in public life. During the 1960s, he became involved in the civil rights movement and worked closely with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Through this work, he became part of a generation of leaders who were advocating for equal rights, voting access, and economic opportunities for African Americans. Jackson played a role in many of the major events and demonstrations of the civil rights era. His involvement in marches, community organizing, and political advocacy helped bring attention to issues of racial equality and social justice across the country. After the assassination of Dr. King in 1968, Jackson continued his activism, determined to carry forward the movement's message of equality and opportunity. In the years that followed, he founded the organization Operation Push, People United to Save Humanity, and later the Rainbow Coalition, initiatives focused on economic empowerment, education, and political participation. Through these efforts, Jackson worked to build alliances across different communities and encourage broader participation in social and political discussions. Beyond activism, Jesse Jackson also became a prominent political figure. In 1984 and 1988, he ran for the Democratic nomination for President of the United States. His campaigns brought national attention to issues such as economic inequality, voting rights, and social justice. Although he did not win the nomination, his campaigns helped inspire many Americans to become more engaged in the political process and opened new conversations about representation in national leadership. Throughout his career, Jackson remained a powerful speaker and advocate for civil rights. His speeches often focused on themes of unity, justice, and the belief that communities could work together to create a more equal society. Colleagues and supporters often described him as passionate and determined. His ability to inspire audiences through his words and activism helped make him one of the most influential voices in modern civil rights history. Over the decades, Jesse Jackson's work influenced discussions about equality, education, economic opportunity, and human rights not only in the United States but also around the world. Even as time passed and new generations of leaders emerged, Jackson's contributions to the civil rights movement remained widely recognized. His legacy reflects decades of advocacy, public service, and commitment to the idea that society can continue striving toward greater fairness and opportunity for all people. Through his leadership and activism, Jesse Jackson helped shape important conversations about justice and equality that continue to influence society today. Tributes to Jesse Jackson. Robert Cosby Jr. was known to many people through his connection to a well-known public figure and through the discussions that surrounded his life and experiences. While public attention often focuses on famous families and their stories, every individual within those families carries their own personal journey, shaped by both public visibility and private challenges. Throughout his life, Robert Cosby Jr. experienced what it meant to grow up connected to a name that was widely recognized across entertainment and public conversation. Being part of such a family can bring unique opportunities, but it can also create pressures that are difficult for many people to fully understand. Those who knew him often described him as someone who valued privacy and personal space despite the public attention that sometimes surrounded his life. Like many individuals navigating complex personal circumstances, he tried to find his own path while dealing with the expectations and conversations that came with his family background. In recent years, Robert Cosby Jr. also became part of broader discussions related to family, accountability, and the complicated ways public stories can affect the lives of those connected to them. These discussions reminded many people that the experiences of family members are often deeply personal and deserve understanding and compassion. Beyond public headlines, friends and acquaintances remembered him as someone who had interests, personal relationships, and a life that extended far beyond the attention that sometimes followed his family name. Life within a well-known family can be both complex and challenging, and Robert Cosby Jr.'s story became a reminder that every person's journey includes struggles, growth, and moments of reflection. As news about him circulated, many people reflected not only on his life but also on the broader importance of empathy when discussing the lives of individuals connected to public stories. Although much of the attention surrounding Robert Cosby Jr. was connected to family history, the memories shared by those who knew him personally focused on the quieter aspects of his character, the conversations, relationships, and everyday moments that often matter most in a person's life. His story reminds us that behind every public narrative there are individuals whose lives deserve to be understood with patience and compassion. Remembering Robert Cosby Jr. invites us to think about the human side of stories that sometimes become headlines and to approach those stories with empathy and respect. Tributes to Robert Cosby Jr. Annabel Schofield was remembered by those who knew her as a thoughtful and compassionate person whose presence brought warmth and understanding to the people around her. Throughout her life, Annabel was known for the way she valued relationships and meaningful conversations. Friends often described her as someone who listened carefully and made others feel respected and appreciated. In a world that often moves quickly, she had a way of slowing down and giving her attention fully to the people she interacted with. Her approach to life reflected kindness and empathy. Whether through her personal friendships or professional connections, she believed that small acts of support and encouragement could have a lasting impact on others. Those who spent time with Annabel Schofield often spoke about her calm personality and her ability to bring thoughtful perspective to different situations. She approached challenges with patience and believed that understanding others was one of the most important qualities a person could have. In many ways, her life reflected the quiet strength that comes from caring about the well-being of those around us. She valued sincerity and honesty, and these qualities shaped the relationships she built throughout her life. Friends remembered the moments of laughter, conversations, and shared experiences that defined their time with her. These memories, though simple in appearance, often carry the deepest meaning for the people who experience them. Annabel Schofield's life reminds us that influence does not always come through fame or public recognition. Sometimes the greatest impact a person can have is through the kindness they share with others and the supportive presence they provide in everyday life. As people reflected on her memory, many expressed gratitude for the warmth she brought into their lives. Her story serves as a reminder that compassion and understanding are qualities that can quietly shape the lives of others. Although she is no longer here, the kindness she shared continues to live on through the people who remember her. Her legacy remains in the friendships she built, the encouragement she offered, and the thoughtful spirit she carried throughout her life. Tributes to Annabel Schofield. As we come to the end of this tribute, we're reminded that every life leaves behind a story. The individuals we remember today shared their talents, leadership, creativity, and kindness with the world in different ways. Though their journeys have come to an end, the memories they created continue to live on. Thank you for joining us here on Time Capsule. If this tribute meant something to you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below.